The easiest way to increase your bottom line revenue in a business is to deliver more in a way that doesn't cost you any more. So in other words, deliver away. So increase your prices because it's not costing you any more if you increase your prices.
If you want more time, money, freedom, and have a business that's not reliant on you, then you're in the right place. Each week, Mark Creedon, along with some of the very best business minds in the world, will take you through simple, practical steps you can take to create the business you always wanted. From his own practical experience, Mark will show you how to work less, make more, and get the business you always wanted, the one that you deserve. Now here's your host, one of Australia's most sought-after business coaches, Mark Creedon.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Mastermind for Business podcast, the podcast for you if you are in business with your significant other, where we're going to help you to grow your business, get absolute clarity on the roles, and also make sure that you get this great harmony between what happens at home and what happens at work. And as always, joining me in the chair is my business partner and life partner.
Hi, Mel.
Boss, Caroline. Hey, good to have you here, as always. We're in January 2026. In the last episode, we spoke about how you plan out for 2026. A lot of that was by looking at what you did well or what you didn't do well in 2025. Now we're going to get into some of the meaty stuff, Caroline. We're going to talk about growing a business. And you sort of came to me with this concept of, which is really from Jay Abrahams. It's that the 3 ways to grow a business.
Yeah, we look at, we have to grow our business, spending more money on marketing these days. Everyone's on, opening up their wallets, trying to put a whole bunch of ads out and not getting any results on it. But we often forget about the other ways to make money, and that's, by selling more to our existing clients or selling things for that little bit more. It might be a 10% increase, might be a 5% increase. And then obviously, like I was saying, whether it's social media or looking at how you can get new clients into the business.
So let's just pull it back a little bit, because in an episode we did last year with Adrian, who's the COO of the Metropole Group, we spoke about levers, right? And really we're talking about that at any given time in your business, you've got to be careful about, you got to know which levers to pull. And if you align them up in your business, there's a whole bunch of different levers that you could pull in. And if you really want to grow, the best thing you can do is to avoid complication and engage simplicity.
Yeah.
Right? And so simplicity is about, working out which levers. And so those 3 that you've just focused on there are really the initial 3 levers, right?
Yeah.
Sell more to people you currently sell to.
Yep.
Sell for more.
Sell for more.
Or sell to more.
New.
To more people.
Yeah.
100%. But what happens, we often see people who understand those levers, but they try and pull them all at once, don't they?
Yeah, you can. That's a tricky one, because you want to focus on one thing. If you can focus on one thing, get absolutely clear on what that is going to look like. Yeah. But you don't want to have necessarily one thing going at the same time, because if you've got a business where there's different departments, another department might get really good success focusing on, increasing the amount of the sale. Yep. Or another department might be looking at getting new clients in, so that lead generation is going to get them to where they need to be, so that you've lifted that number.
Yep. I think the thing, though, is, if you're listening to this now and you're going, I want to find a simple way to grow my business, right? And I just think the simplest way is to just grab one lever. Just grab one lever and just pull that one lever. So you've got to look at what is going to be either, we're talking about low-hanging fruit, right? What is going to be the easiest lever to pull, or what is going to give you the best return, right? And in an ideal world, one of the things we do, that matrix that we do, the betting table. So we have this worksheet we call the betting table, and we go, all the projects you've got, you want to put your money on projects that are going to take the least amount of energy and the maximum amount of return. So we need to work out which is, and for some people, the easiest thing is just to increase your prices. But there's a real fear factor around increasing prices, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. And it's whether it's a big amount, a little amount, whatever, you might be above what the normal market going rate is. We have this fear of, but if I put my prices up, I'm going to lose clients. Or if I put my prices up, no one's going to want to buy from me.
Yep.
But where that sort of is challenged is if you can add value or you're showing that there's value, price sort of almost becomes inadequate. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, it does. I mean, what you've got to do is in all of your messaging, you've got to focus on value, not on price. Andrew Griffiths, who's a coach in operating out of North Queensland, he wrote this great book called Somebody Has to Be the Most Expensive. Why Shouldn't It Be You? And we've done a presentation on that at an intensive with our Mastermind members. But I think there's this fear. So let's just look at what those three levers are. And if we focus in on the first one of increasing your prices, what we need to do there is focus on value. Yep. Check out what's happening in the marketplace. And the other thing I reckon you can do is actually talk to some really good clients, because you remember that, we've had clients where I've suggested that we do a little price increase and they've come back and gone, there's no way in the world the market will stand that. And then they've come back in 6 months' time going, wow, I'm selling everything at that new price.
Yeah.
Without any pushback.
Yeah.
And even to returning clients go, it's gone up. Oh, that's okay.
Good example. We're looking at changing the cleaners in the office, and I've got a new cleaner that we're bringing into the office. So the old cleaner wanted to have a chat about why are you wanting to move? I'm like, well, we've mentioned about these things not being adequate, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, is it price? I'm like, it's definitely not price, because I just want to have, everybody come into the office on a Monday morning and their office looks nice and clean. So it's often never about price. It's about the quality and the perceived value.
Right. Well, about value. I mean, if it was about price, let's be honest, Bentley would be out of business, Louis Vuitton would be out of business. Do you know if it was all just about price?
Yeah.
Right? So those premium brands exist because there are people in the marketplace that pay too much for things, some may say. But there are people in the marketplace that understand about value. So if you lead with value, then talking about price becomes less of an issue.
Yeah.
Right. Lever number one was to sell for more money. Lever number two?
Sell more to existing clients. It sort of falls into your concentric circles if we can focus on those clients. If we're focusing on the clients that we already know and trust us, we're adding a little bit. We're expanding that outcome better.
Yeah, we often talk to our clients. You raised that really good point about the know, like, trust, buy, refer, repeat model. So if you get to know your clients and they get to like you and they get to trust you, then they'll buy from you. But they'll do more. They'll refer and then they'll repeat. And I was actually just having this conversation with somebody this morning about referrals, and how many times do we get clients who go, I get most of my work from referrals.
Yeah.
But they never ask for it.
No, that's an interesting one. And I don't know why people don't ask for referrals. Maybe it's because there's this fear of getting a no or a fail or fail, something like that.
You know what? It's probably a fear of getting a no, but it's also probably a fear of imposing. I don't want to impose. So we'll talk about this in future episodes. If you're talking about getting referrals, there's a process. There's a 5-step process that you go through, and we've done episodes on it in the past. But it's all about the pre-framing and the timing, right? But it's a really interesting thing because it's so much easier to get more work from your existing clients, whether it's directly from them or from their circle, if you like, than it is to go out and chase brand new clients. And yet time and time again, we see service businesses that come to us and, the first thing they say is, I'm spending all this money on marketing. I'm spending all this money on advertising. And we go, I've got a great story. Can I tell a story?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to anyway.
You're a storyteller.
I've got this great story. So I remember years ago when we used to work with pool shops.
Yeah. I normally do this with the grandkids. Once upon a time.
Remember we were working with pool shops, right? And I remember I went into a pool shop in Melbourne and the guy was sitting there and he was working out all this advertising that he was going to do in the local paper. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting all these ads together and it's going to cost me a fortune. It's going to cost me thousands of dollars, but it's worth it because I need to grow the business. I went, cool. How long have you been here? I've been here for 10 years. Great. So what's your business? It's in servicing pools. Okay, fantastic. How many pools do you service? Oh, we service about, 300 pools or 400 pools. I forget the exact number. It was a lot of pools. Now, the great thing about pools is they don't move, right? People do, but pools don't. And even people move only every 7 to 10 years. So what I said to him was, okay, when was the last time you went out to your 400 database of people whose pools you service and asked them to refer you to their friends and family?
Yeah.
Or when was the last time when your guys were out servicing the pools, they did a 5 each side and dropped cards in the letterboxes of the 5 And these days with Google Earth, you can actually pick the houses
Pick
got
the
the pools.
houses, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's like dead easy these days. But it was just really interesting that they hadn't thought of that. They hadn't thought of that as an approach. So sometimes the last intensive we did, we spoke about asking the right question.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about asking the right question. Maybe it's not about how do I grow my business or how do I get more clients. Maybe it's about how do I get more revenue rather than more clients.
Yep.
And the easiest way to do it is from existing clients. Thank you for letting me tell that story. Right, number 3, lever number 3.
Sell more to new.
Yeah, well, it is then going out.
Going out.
But the interesting thing is, when new clients still fall into that category, new clients don't have to come from the big wide world out there. We talk about concentric circles. The first thing you do is you go to the people you know.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go to the people who know the people you know.
Yeah.
And then the people who know the people you know the people you know.
The power of consent, the concentric circle process is quite interesting. And if you can sit down and spend, 10 minutes, you don't have to spend a lot of time, 20 minutes, and look at who is associated with who and widen that out. And then you know how you can attach yourself to those different circles.
Yep.
It could be something like doing an event. It could be sponsoring the local sporting team. It doesn't have to be, punching out a whole heap of ad campaigns and things like that. That would be just what everybody else is doing. If you can think outside the square on what other people are doing or what other people are seeing, that will get you there.
Now, let's be clear. That's not to say that ad campaigns don't work. That's not to say that this good marketing doesn't work. But what we're saying here is that there are a number of levers you can pull. So you can, if you're sitting here now, if you're listening to this podcast and you're going, I'd really love to increase my revenue. The easiest way to increase your bottom line revenue in a business is to deliver more in a way that doesn't cost you any more. So in other words, deliver a way. So increase your prices because it's not costing you any more.
No.
If you increase your prices. If you've got a product that you're selling for $100 and you sell it for $110 instead, that $10 is going straight to your bottom line because you don't have to pay more staff, you don't have to buy more equipment, you don't have to change anything to deliver it because you're already doing it.
Yeah.
So that $10 is going straight to your bottom line. So the easiest way the first lever I'd be looking to pull always would be, how can I increase my prices?
Yeah. Make sure, and if you're worried that you're going to increase your prices across the board, maybe look at the ones where your margins have dropped and increase those ones so that you're bringing your margins up to a better level than where they were.
Yep.
Just to keep things flat. But it's not going to be a scenario of you're going to lose all the clients that you have. And I think that's where a lot of people are frightened to do that.
Do you remember we worked with those clients years ago and I said to them, you need to increase your prices? And they said, oh, no, I can't do that. But all the clients will hate it. And,
Our clients wouldn't.
They wouldn't do it.
That.
And I said, when was the last time you increased your prices? And they went, probably like 8-9 years ago. And we just dropped a 20% increase across the board. Not a peep. Not a peep. Nobody made any complaint. And in fact, most people probably realise they've been getting it for too cheap for too long. Yeah. Right, so increase your prices. Go out and ask your existing clients to sell more to them. So if you're doing something like pool servicing, for example, instead of servicing once a month, service every 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? Find ways to service them through the winter months. And we've shown that pool shops can make money in winter. I've had major suppliers come to me and go, can't be done. Well, it can, and we've proven that. So look at the things that you can do to sell, to give more value to your clients so they'll buy from you more often. Yeah. And then that third lever is to get new clients. But let's look at that without going out to general marketing and advertising. And that gets back to that referral concept.
Yeah.
Right? How do you get people to come and give you more referrals?
You have to make it easy.
Yeah, well, you do. That's right.
You really do have to make it easy. If a client loves you, they know you, they trust you, they're busy.
Yep.
Why would they refer you, even though they know and love you and all those sorts of things, if it's hard, if it means that they have to spend 2 hours doing something that's going to benefit your business and it's not really going to benefit their business? If it's easy and there's benefit in it for their business, then it's a bit of a no-brainer. Yeah,
100%. So you have to make it super easy for them. We'll repeat that in the next couple of weeks. We'll do another episode just reminding people how to set up a referral program. There's a 5-step process that we've developed, which is a super simple way of setting up a referral program to make it super easy. If you're listening to this right now and you want to increase your bottom line, then I'll encourage you to look at those 3 levers. Yeah. pick one.
Yeah.
Don't do all three at once. Just pick one and then get comfortable with that, right? Get absolute clarity around it and get focus. But keeping it simple, because I think the simpler you keep it, I mean, you always often say that simplicity builds confidence.
Yeah. And like when you said just picking one, pick one that you know is, that sounds really awful, but more likely to be achieved or easier. If you feel comfortable doing it, then you're more likely to achieve it.
You're right. So you've got to be comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah. So comfortable and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. As always, great stuff. 15 minutes or less, thereabouts. If you are listening to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform, please like and subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll get to know when the new episodes download. If you know someone who is in business with their significant other and you think they'd benefit from hearing the things that we've achieved as being married for nearly 20 years this year, then, please share the podcast with them. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment below. If you've got a topic that you'd love to hear from us, please drop it into the comments below, and we'll be only too happy to discuss it in a future episode. Until we chat next in the next Mastermind for Business podcast, please make sure you spend time with those who matter most.